application and vote whether to approve or deny the application. So they're the decision makers. And you'll receive a copy of my proposed recommendation and can attend that board meeting and present your information directly to them. With regard to this proceeding, basically there are 4 elements that I have to receive information regarding.
Everybody, let's get out of here. Now, what's the electricity line?
I can see it looks like part of the building has been blown away. We'll have to back around to the other side so I can get a better view of it. The explosion went off around 9 a.m. and we could feel the explosion in the newsroom of Channel 9 at least 5 miles from downtown.
As a chopper goes around the side of the federal building,
wow.
Look at that shot.
Holy
it is
cow.
Absolutely incredible. The side of the federal building has been blown off. Jesse?
About a third of the building has been blown away. This is just devastating.
That morning, I was not in my office. I was at a fundraiser about 30 miles away. We had a 9 o'clock start when all of a sudden my phone went off. And I was told that there'd been some type of an explosion at the Murrah Building. The greatest fear I have is that we have casualties in the thousands. At any one time, there could be a couple of thousand people in that building.
I was assigned to the Oklahoma City Police Tactical Team at the time. And we immediately started working our way towards the building. There were several vehicles on the north side of the building in a parking lot, and all of them were burning. The black smoke just billowing up. When I walked up there, there was a hole in the ground about the size of a swimming pool that looked like about 30 feet in diameter and about 7, 8 feet deep. Just a big hole in the ground. That's when it started really sinking in. This had to be some kind of bomb.
The 9th floor collapsed on top of the 8th floor, onto the 7th floor, and when all 3 of those floors came to the 6th floor, the impact threw me into the west wall of the building, face first, and it fractured my skull and left me unconscious there in the rubble.
My office was on the 8th floor, fairly close to the elevators. I came to rather quickly, but I couldn't see anything. My eyes were in pretty bad shape. I could hear groaning, and I felt like I should have done something, and I couldn't.
When I first got there, I could see people trapped on different floors, and they needed to be rescued. And so I started my way into the building. I thought to myself, why Oklahoma City? It's a quiet place. Nothing happens here. It's not supposed to happen here.
When I arrived at the scene, it had all of the markings of a bombing. I had worked international terrorism at FBI headquarters before that, and had worked many cases in the Middle East. It looked almost identical to some of the buildings that had been destroyed in Beirut. and places like that.
You know, we'd always had threats. You tell somebody, I'm sorry, but, you know, your claim's denied or whatever, and, you know, and we'd get threats, but not anything that we ever considered, you know, viable.
There has been a massive explosion at a federal building in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. It happened just a short time ago. A large portion of that building has collapsed and fallen away from the rest of the building. At the moment, we don't have any specific numbers on injuries or deaths, but we can tell you that the situation is obviously serious.
I tried to put the building back in my mind of where would he be? If I have to dig for my son, where should I dig? And so that's what I did. I visualized the first floor, the second floor, the child care was here, his crib would be here, and that's where I wanted to get to. And so I started to climb up the debris and the rubble. I remember a man yelling, "You can't go up there, it's too dangerous." And I remember telling him, our babies are in there. Our babies are in there. I just kept saying, our babies are in there.
When I saw the building for the first time, I just couldn't see how anybody could survive any of that. So at that point, I think my mind was thinking, my kids are gone.
I drove down there and met Claudia. We walked up to a perimeter, and I asked the officer, I said, we have two babies in the daycare center. Can I go in? I could see people that are covered with blankets, towels, whatever, that are gone, and I'm praying that one of them is not a small child.
I knew a lot of people in the building. I knew the DEA agents that were in the building. I knew the ATF agents that were in the building. And those people were friends of mine. I could not believe what had happened to all of them and how this could be. How could somebody get to that state in their life where they could be so angry and upset that they would do something like this?
Who started the war and who was the aggressor? That's how I look at the Murrah bombing. To me, it wasn't the start of a war, it was a counterattack. The war had already been started. You guys think you can be ruthless? Let's see how you like it when the fight is brought to you. If you continue like Ruby Ridge and Waco, this is what's going to happen.